Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about how the Bitcoin bulls, or crypto bulls, are bracing for the next rally. So we know that things have been absolutely great this last week, but there's more goodness to come. So let's talk about everything that's happening today and what more to expect. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out the day at 118,000, slightly lower than yesterday. Last night, things were getting exciting once again. We got up to about $120,000, so slightly lower than that. Most of the alts are red today, but if you look at where they are now versus, say, 2 days ago, like for example, Solana was at 180 and that's at 194. So where's the pullback? It's just very, very, very slight. Okay, so things are still looking great ever since Bitcoin pumped up to about 118,000 starting mid-July, which is only 2 weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago. We've been holding extremely strong, waiting for that next leg up, and it's coming. It is definitely coming. All right, today, let's see. The U.S. market is starting out green, very green, and that's a good thing, and that's because of this. This came out yesterday afternoon or night, I don't know when, but a big trade deal was made between the U.S. and Japan. Setting tariffs only at 15%. That's actually quite low compared to some of the other deals that have been made with Vietnam and China and even the UK. So pretty darn good. And this involves putting $550 billion in the U.S. In terms of investments. And somehow the U.S. will receive 90% of their profits. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. So this is the reason why things are going up in the green today. And the next big deal will probably be with the EU, which right now there's definitely some contention going on right now. So we will see. We will see what happens there. I can't help but notice on CNBC, they also put this headline right here. GoPro Krispy Kreme. It seems like Wall Street Bets is back at it. Most of you guys remember what happened with the GME back in the day, but it seems like those guys are starting to push up other major brands that are very, very not overbought, shorted, okay? And, man, like GoPro was up 57% today, and Krispy Kreme up 27%. Hey, that may be one of the reasons why Bitcoin is down from yesterday, because these guys are going nuts over meme stocks. But you got to be careful with those. Just like meme coins, man. You just don't know when they're going to fall. And when they do, they fall very, very hard and very fast. So that's why. Got to stick with Bitcoin, the big daddy, and good big cap coins. Speaking of Bitcoin, yesterday, surprisingly, we had another outflow day, but not from BlackRock. Not from BlackRock. BlackRock is still at zero. They never really sell. The others did. Overall, small outflow day, 68 million. But what's interesting, again, is Ethereum. Ethereum took in a massive $534 million yesterday. 426 from BlackRock. There's definitely a major shift happening with BlackRock and all these investors. They are buying way more ETH at this point than even Bitcoin. There's something going on. This is an early sign that something is going on. Either the start of altcoin season, or there's some major things that are happening with Ethereum, and these guys are loading up. So this is really, really interesting. Yesterday $500 million inflow, $500 million day inflow into Ethereum. That's crazy. That's actually really crazy. Now, what else? Mara's going to raise close to $1 billion to stack more Bitcoin. These guys are just not going to go away, okay? Nor do we want them to go away. We want them to keep on stacking, and that's exactly what they're doing. And they're not going to stop. And now you got Ethereum stacking going on. You got a lot of stacking going on. And yesterday, I made a video about Bitwise's ETF. I'll get to that. But that's pretty significant. That means there will be a lot more ETFs approved and a lot more institutional buying. But anyways, I'll get to that. Quantum Solutions. They're going to load up or stack 3,000 Bitcoin. So as you can see, it's not going to stop. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the really good thing. Why the bull run is not over. Why there's going to be another rally and another rally and another rally and another rally afterwards. Because just look at how small Bitcoin is as an asset class versus everything else. Gold is 10 times higher. Art, cars, and collectibles is 10 times higher. Equities, real estate, bonds, I mean, forget about it. Nowhere close to them. As big as Bitcoin is right now, the potential is so massive. We are still so early. It's quite amazing. Quite amazing to think about, right? And that is why someone like Cathie Wood and ARK Invest, they think a base case for Bitcoin by 2030, that's only 5 years from now. 5 years. Base case, Bitcoin will be at 1.2 million. In the worst bear case scenario, Bitcoin will be at 500,000. And the best scenario, a bullish scenario, is 2.4 million. I mean, just think about it. This is 5 years from now. This is not 50 years from now. This is not 500 years from now. To hold Bitcoin from 118,000 to 1.2 million in the next 5 years, who wouldn't do that? I know I would. Hopefully you guys would too. All right, last thing about Bitcoin is this. There's a lot of charts out there, right? Bitcoin following the M2 money supply. It's been tracking it closely. But there's also stuff like this. On the weekly, which doesn't happen very often, we have formed a golden cross. And generally speaking, when golden crosses are made, they're really good. They're really, really good. Last time this happened in 2024, Bitcoin ran up 74%. And you could see this time in 2025, ever since we had the golden cross happen, which was around $90,000, we've been rallying pretty good, up 20%. But there's probably more gains to come. So all you had to do is HODL and DCA. HODL and DCA. That's it. It's really that simple. And things like or crypto like Solana, it broke 200 yesterday. It's slightly down today, but you're getting a lot more interest and activity and a lot more buying, ultimately, that's happening, right? Just like Ethereum, I showed you guys the inflow from the ETFs, massive. It's going to be the same thing with Solana. It's going to be the same thing for a lot of these crypto projects that pretty much got a green light for their ETF. Yesterday, the video from last night talks about Bitwise's crypto index fund being converted to a spot fund, which was approved, and it has like 8 crypto in there, including Solana and some of the others that we're waiting for, XRP and Cardano and AVAX and SUI. I mean, basically SEC greenlit all these guys to get their own spot ETF. That's going to mean a ton of money coming in once they get approved, probably in October, which would be really, really good. Really good. Right before the parabolic phase of this cycle. And you got companies, DeFi Dev Corp, not waiting for ETFs, just buying it. 1 million SOL in their treasury. You got another player called DevStream. They're adding both Bitcoin and Solana to their treasury. So it's already happening. We don't even have to wait for the ETFs. There are major public trade companies that are adding other crypto to their treasuries already, in addition to Bitcoin, which is fantastic, which is absolutely fantastic. All right, last thing I'll show you guys is this. This heat map has been deadly accurate in terms of where Bitcoin could go or will go. Looks like we got two levels right now. Okay, we got a major level at 117.1, and then we got a major level at 119.6. So that's where I think things will go. The way we're trading right now, maybe Bitcoin dips down to 117, clears the longs over here, and then bounces right back up to 120 and clears the shorts. Kind of like last night. That's what happened last night. So, or we could just reverse up and just go to 120 right now. But this has been pretty darn accurate if you've been following it. And it's all because of the market makers. The market makers, they want to clear out the leverage. They want to wipe the slate clean. They've been doing this for a long, long time. So I would not be surprised if we go back down to like 117 and then bounce quickly right off of that. We're not too far off from it. We're like $700 away. So probably going to happen. All right, that's it. Let's see. U.S. market is still very strong. And today, Circle's up slightly. MicroStrategy down. Coinbase down. Robinhood down. Netflix down. I bet everyone's playing those meme stocks. All right, let's do some Q&A. Remember, nothing goes up forever. There will be breaks. There will be profit taking. There will be some dips. There will be some volatility. But the gains from last week is nowhere near being wiped out. So some of you guys are panicking a little bit. Just stay calm. Stay cool. Arun asking, hi George, what would be the ideal unit of Bitcoin to buy for retiring? There's no ideal. Basically, I believe you accumulate as much as you can in your lifetime. Even one, and it depends on where you live. If you live overseas, where the living standards are much lower than the US, who knows? Maybe even half a Bitcoin is enough to retire. In the US, I would say you probably need at least one, if not more. In the next 5 years, if Kathy Wood is correct, Bitcoin being at 1.2 million, then you calculate how much you need to retire. Arsenal asks, Say or AVAX, which is a better buy right now? I think they're good. They're both good projects. I think they're both good. They're both very involved with many things. AVAX more so in games, that's for sure. But they are also in RWA, in tokenization, and that's what Say is in. And Say is really heavily into stablecoins now. Any news why crypto is down? There's no news. If something goes up 20 or 30 or 40% in a week, there's going to be down days afterwards. It's really that simple. Look at, even with today's so-called dumping, you still have Ethereum up 14% for the week, XRP up 10%, BNB up 12%, Solana up 14%, Doge up 21%, Cardano up 9%. Okay, so no, today didn't wipe out all of the gains. Do you have a price prediction for Sui? No, I don't. But I think it'll be pretty high. I think Sui will be probably in like the top 7, top 8. On CMC, which will put it quite high when this is all done. Atano asks an interesting question. Does crypto still excite you, or do you see patterns in the matrix and no surprises? You know, as I've been doing this show, I've been finding more reasons behind pumps and dumps, right? And what causes things to move. So it's I don't know. Obviously, if things are pumping in a single day, I still get very excited, but general movement, small little increment movements or non-movements do not surprise me. A lot of things could be explained. A lot of things can't be explained. But one of the reasons why I cover macro conditions so much, because they do drive markets. How interest rates are, FOMC meetings, they do move markets. That's why I started covering them, and that's why everyone else started covering them. They started copying me. Now, I think looking at metrics like the liquidation heat map, that definitely moves markets. Liquidation levels, fund rates, stuff like that normally I didn't pay attention to before. They definitely move markets. So yeah, over time I've gotten a little bit more educated on things. JDEKG, 5 memberships. Thank you. Larry, what do you think? What do you see XRP and Pepe being in 5 years? Okay. I don't know, man. Higher? I had some guy come to my house yesterday to work on my cars. So I'm trying to get a few ceramic coated. I'm getting getting my Ferrari PPF and tinted. Anyways, and he was working on my car yesterday. And he's like, you know, what do you think about XRP? He's like, I bought it at 40 cents years ago. I'm like, congrats, it's doing good, and I think it's gonna go higher. He's like, my friend tells me it's gonna go to $1,000. I'm like, $1,000? And I explained to him how that's theoretically not possible, because that would make XRP's market cap like 100 trillion or something like that. But I could kind of tell that even with my explanation, he didn't really believe it. He still thinks there's a chance it could get to like $500 or $1,000. I'm like, okay, you can believe what you want, but I do think it's gonna go higher. Bitcoin dominance is up slightly. If you go to the daily chart, that was a massive drop with Bitcoin's dominance, and you could see RSI got to 11. I don't know if you could really chart Bitcoin dominance like this against altcoin dominance, but looking at that, Bitcoin dominance should be flipping upwards, even slightly. But that was a huge freaking drop, over 6% in dominance. And it can continue. Trendsetter Crypto TV. XRP will be $1,000 by 2028. If I'm wrong, I will send George $1,000. Okay. You said it. I'll take that $1,000 for free. Anyways, if it does, I wouldn't complain. Yeah, these two are still going crazy. Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme is a stock I would never, ever, ever, ever think about investing into. Although their donuts are pretty darn good, but GoPro I would think about it because they have pretty good cameras. But still, it's so competitive. The Chinese companies like DJI, they're super, super, super good at what they do. So I can see how GoPro is not doing well. But now it is. Yeah, DJI Pocket 3 is what I use in my Sunday walk videos. The quality is amazing. My Sunday walk videos, I actually decreased the quality because I just wanted to render faster and upload faster. But like the normal quality, not even 4K, even if you use 1080p, it's just like it's amazing. GoPro can't come anywhere close to it. The Chinese need to work on brand and naming. Their brands don't hit with the Westerners. Some of them, yeah, I agree. Like the car companies and stuff is hard to pronounce. But DJI is a well-known name. They dominate the drone industry, and their handheld cameras are good too. So DJI is one that has done really well, but they're supposed to get banned or tariffed. I don't know. There was talks about them getting banned for a long time. I don't know if that ban's been lifted or what. It's crazy to see BNB. I don't talk a lot about BNB these days. There's not a whole lot to talk about, but it's crazy to see BNB at close to 800. I remember when I first covered them back in 2017, 2018, they were like around $10. And I remember they went on a tremendous run to like 100 or something in 2017, 2018. And now to see them at $800, it's kind of crazy. Where do you see XRP bouncing? Well, look at XRP. It's at 327. It was at 350 yesterday. Down a little bit. Still up 10% for a week. Still up 62% for the last 30 days. So it's doing very well. Where is it going to bounce? I don't know. Look at this tremendous climb. Okay, there's no reason to be complaining. And then plus, you look at RSI, yeah, it is very overbought. I mean, almost every altcoin is overbought because we had a tremendous climb, right? So where could it fall to? I don't know. It could fall back down to like 296 right here. We had a little red right there. Maybe we could fall there. Yeah, that would make sense right around here. 294, 296. And then we can bounce off of that and come right back up. Or we don't fall that far. You know, XRP right now at its current level is basically like a support level from January. $223, July 6th. That was 2.5 weeks ago. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yep. This is what I'm saying. This has been pretty darn accurate. In terms of whale activity or market maker activity, they're going to try to clear out the leverage one way or another, either on the downside or upside. So if we go down a little bit more, like down to 117.1, 117, totally would not surprise me. If we kept going down to 115, that would surprise me. But I think going down to 117 to wipe out these longs, definitely, I think it's definitely high probability it's going to happen. And then we come back up, and then it's time to wreck the shorts at 119,700. You know, it's just like, this has been so accurate recently. Now, you can't, it's hard to guess if it's going to go up or down, but seeing how overbought everything is, made sense that it was going to go to the downside. Has there ever been, Max PS, has there ever been a super cycle? No, never. We've never seen a super cycle before, but if you put it all together, I think this is the highest chance that this cycle will be a super cycle because of all the institutional buying. Bitcoin, you know, you got 55,000 Bitcoin here just in BlackRock, or 50, that's just this last 2 weeks. BlackRock has like 700,000 Bitcoin, Sailor has 600,000, and all these other guys. You know, it's just unlikely that they just go sell it all for us to go down 80% again. Can AVAX go to 35 or 45 in August? 35 is not unreasonable. If we continue this altcoin season trend, which is definitely possible, then yeah, I'd say so. Crazy Waffle, no, it's not delusional, man. You got to put things together. Last cycle, we didn't have ETFs. We didn't have Sailor buying 600,000 Bitcoin. We didn't have Mara and others putting billions into their reserve. Things aren't always the same, which is why Bitcoin is bigger this cycle, which is why it's less volatile this cycle. And we also made new highs before halving event. All these things that happened this cycle that has never happened in previous cycles. So you got to change your mindset. You got to change your thesis once in a while. But anyways, if you want to sell at top, or you think it's top, do it. No one ever gets hurt taking profits. You just lose a lot of unrealized gains. What did you regret during your crypto journey? I don't know. I made a lot of mistakes trying to time the market, trying to, outsmart the market, trying to trade by timing tops or timing bottoms without really knowing what to do. Just like me thinking that I could outsmart the market. And those kind of failed attempts have cost me a lot of money. A lot. So either learn how to navigate the market or just hold on DCA. Because hold on DCA is hard to beat. It's very hard to beat. But there's ways, right? You look at the signals and patterns and do technical analysis. And that's the reason why I have bootcamp running right now. Because I have people on the team that's really good at charting and finding these signals. So that's why bootcamp is ongoing. I've been talking about it for a while. We got a lot of people attending right now, and we'll continue to host it every month. But yeah, that's my biggest thing. I just made a lot of mistakes that cost me a lot of money. Ooh, look at that. Solana almost bounced off of there. Looks like it is bouncing right now. Everything's bouncing right now. Google earnings, what do you think? You know what? Google is probably one of the big tech companies that I would not invest in. AI is really eating away at Google searches. The big dominant moneymaker for Google is obviously AdSense, and that comes from searches. And man, ChatGPT usage is skyrocketing. Same thing with Grok and others. They're eating away at Google. Even though Google has its own AI, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. And I think they're slowly going to be eaten up. So I don't know. I just look at it that way. I'm sure their demise is not going to come anytime soon, if at all. They could survive forever. They're so big. But I just see it like right now they're competing against AI, and that's going to be really tough. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall, do not be down about today's market, okay? This is very normal. We're very sideways. And alts are just taking a slight breather from the fantastic week that we had. So, stay strong, my friends. Do not become discouraged. We will bounce back soon. The next rally is still underway. And that's it. Smash it a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.